Hey, what is up everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and in this video we're going to be counting down the top 20 funniest heroes in One Punch Man.
Yes, I am very excited as the person who rudely interrupted without being introduced to talk about the 20 most philosophically deep heroes in One Punch Man. Let's do this!
And as you can tell, joining me today, probably the one person that I know that is the biggest fan of One Punch Man and its unique brand of comedy, Taku from the Taku YouTube channel.
Yes, most people think that I based my name off my channel, but nah fam, other way around.
Correct, and so what we're gonna do this one, obviously comedy is subjective, so bear with us. If you disagree on the placing or you think we missed someone, do let us know in the comments, it's all good. But we're gonna be having a lot of fun with this, and if this video gets 5,000 likes, we're gonna do a top 20 funniest villains in One Punch Man as well.
So I wasn't told about this before now, but rarely am I so hyped, so smash that like button and let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Absolutely. Okay, let's start things off with, of course, number 20. At number 20, we have Spring Mustachio, A-class hero with impeccable style. He wears a tuxedo and bow tie, and he sports a classy, perfectly combed mustache that would make even Lord Escanor blush.
So what clearly is great about Spring Mustachio is the mustache. I mean, it's even in his name. He understands that as far as anime goes, if you have a mustache, you're basically flexing on everyone at this point. Lord Escanor, Lord Twigo, Alex Louis Armstrong, Dracul Mihawk. Literally, mustache comes with flexing in anime, and Spring Mustachio knows what he was doing.
Yeah, and I mean, he even has Mustachio in his hero name, so he really is someone to behold. Not to mention that if you look at his deep and philosophical background, he actually comes from a wealthy family. He was supposed to be working in his family business, but he decided no, he wanted to follow his dream of being a hero. So now he has to wash dishes on the side so that he can make enough money to be dedicated to heroism. Like, what a great guy.
Yeah, and all that said and done, he looks dapper while doing all of that. I mean, even when the dude summons his sword to battle, he has like this whole magic trick thing where he waves around like this cloth until poof, puff of smoke, and out comes his sword. The guy could carry it on his hip, but he would look way cooler without it, and therefore he does not.
Yeah, Spring Mustachio is definitely one of my personal favorites. At number 19, we have Heavy Tank Loincloth, another A-class hero with a glorious show-stopping mustache.
Yes,
even the
and
legendary Alex Armstrong would admire Loincloth's incredible physique, deadly mustache, and overflowing manly confidence.
So, on first glance, you can tell that he is a higher rank on this list than Spring Mustachio, because unlike Spring Mustachio, whose mustache emanates from his upper lip, Heavy Tank Loincloth's mustache literally comes out of his nose, which is next level mustache flexing.
Yeah, and not only that, but he also wears nothing but a loincloth, so he is clearly one of the most desirable heroes among the ladies. Like, can you, Nux, tell me, can you honestly imagine any woman in the world being able to resist that mustache and a loincloth?
So, being that I'm not a whammon, and I will not speak for them, for they have voices of their own, I definitely think that they all would immediately just explode in gasm.
I mean, I can't argue with facts. Loincloth is just such a man. We can only hope to one day, get halfway to where he is in terms of both his strength, heroism, and prowess with the ladies.
Yes, I think that between me, you, and Lord Brigo, he should do the bodybuilding, I'll do the mustache, and you do the loincloth.
I think that's fair. All three of us together could become one great hero.
That is how absolute of a mad lad this bastard is.
At number 18, we have the Surly Brothers. Made up of three brothers who understand the power of memes and emojis, they consist of A-class hero Smile Man, B-class hero Crying Man, and C-class hero Angry Man. These guys are, I think, truly modern heroes. They understand that in our modern, fast-paced world, you have to speak in the language of emojis. You have to brand yourself through the use of simple and memorable symbols and emoticons, and that is exactly what the Surly Brothers have done.
I feel like you completely missed the point and philosophy behind these characters. It's not like the Smile Man ended up A-class and because he's stronger than his brothers. No, they are all the same. It's because he has reached his heights and potential to join A-class that he then became Smile Man. So too, Angry Man is in C-class, not because Angry Man is inherently weaker, but no, he was only in C-class because he could not accomplish his dreams becoming Angry Man. It is a complete and total, utter look at the psyche of what it is to be a hero. And that is why he is the deepest character in fiction.
Angry Man?
Well, so I don't know. Angry Man and Smile Man. It's the combo between the two.
The point is, I didn't understand anything you said, but I respect it. At number 17, we have Armored Chief Clerk. Also known as the Armored Assistant Manager, this C-Class hero is surely the role model for millions of middle-aged salarymen across Japan and beyond. This inspirational hero decided to quit his salaryman job and used his severance pay to create an armored suit, which allowed him to finally pursue his dream of being a hero.
Now, I like this guy because he tries to emulate One Punch Man by being bald, but not everyone could just be bald like One Punch Man. So he's left with strands of hair over the top of his head, which is cool, but not as cool as the man of One Punch himself.
But you gotta respect the Armored Assistant Manager. I mean, just look at his face, okay? His entire being simply exudes confidence, power, and virility. Men want to be him.
The fact that his arms are clearly built up of old soda cans also shows that he's trying to save the planet by recycling.
Oh yeah, I mean, men want to be him. Women want to be with him. He's a truly inspirational hero, and I would love to see Nux. I would love to see you make a video called The Rugged Philosophy of Armored Assistant Manager.
You know what? I totally could, but I have no patience or time right now to devote myself to another one of those hour-and-a-half long projects. Maybe another time.
Fair enough. That would, if that was under an hour and a half, you couldn't do it justice. You just couldn't.
Exactly. I'm not gonna half-ass this one.
Yeah, let's just move on to the next one because there's just too much here. At number 16, we have a hero known only as Glasses. Now, if you thought Armored Assistant Manager was a legend, then wait until you meet the living paragon of heroism known only as Glasses. Sure, Armored Assistant Manager has glasses, but he also needs a suit of armor in order to be a hero. However, B-class rank 20 hero called Glasses doesn't even need armor. All he needs is glasses and a dope Slavic tracksuit.
Well, yes, now I know why you, try to stuff him as high up on this list as you can. But in all honesty, the reason why Glasses is so badass is because he understands that what makes an anime character badass isn't necessarily their feats, it's not necessarily what they do, but it's how they do it. And in this case, it's by smugly pushing your glasses higher up your nose so it gleams in the invisible light and makes your eyes invisible. That motion alone represents literally half of master plans in anime, so I very much respect Glasses.
Absolutely. I mean, this hero is basically Tenya Ida from MHA, but far stronger and more popular with women. I mean, sure, Tenya Ida has a pretty good quirk that allows him to move at super speed, but as every true Slav knows, super speed means nothing when faced against the overwhelming power of a green tracksuit.
Green tracksuits are overpowered and give you a 45% chance higher than normal of being hit by a truck and sent into another world.
Yeah, but in the end, it's worth it. Moving on to number 15, shoulder pads. By this time in the video, I know you must be thinking, a hero called Glasses who wears an epic Slav tracksuit at number 16, what could possibly be more awesome than this stunning Slavic prince? But allow me to introduce you to C-Class hero shoulder pads. Not only does shoulder pads wear a tracksuit from the 90s, which in and of itself makes him superior to 99.69% of other heroes, but on top of his 90s tracksuit, he is wearing large shoulder pads.
Yes, I personally very much am inspired by this guy because he's one of those Dragon Ball fans that went out there, he watched Dragon Ball, he fell in love with Goku, with Frieza, with all the epic stuff going on, and in order to rep what he really believes in, he decided to take the really awkward Saiyan shoulder pads that no one ever actually liked in Dragon Ball, and he made it as badass as it could be. Honestly, I think shoulder pads in One Punch Man is a better written character purely on character design alone than, I don't know, Vegeta.
Well, I mean, I think you're undercutting the value of the shoulder pads.
And would probably win in a fight.
Do you have any idea how much of an advantage in battle you would have if you're wearing large shoulder pads, but you are facing an opponent who is not wearing any shoulder pads at all? You can reduce.
This is fair. If someone's gonna karate chop you on the shoulder at the same time as you karate chop them, they won't know what's coming. But what's even more important, shoulder pads, unlike Vegeta, embodies justice. And, well, since justice is a concept, and concepts aren't bound by space or time, that means he technically is stronger than Vegeta, who is bound by space and time.
Okay, well, this isn't a video about power scaling, Nux. Calm down.
I'm just defending my boy, because I know we're going to have Salt in the comments saying, hey, Vegeta can totally solo shoulder pads, but no, because he can't.
I mean, he can't, but just according to science, you can reduce the likelihood of shoulder injuries by at least 20% by using shoulder pads. And as any trained martial artist will tell you, shoulder health is the single biggest indicator of whether you're going to win an important fight.
Well, pretty much. I mean, we saw the Saiyan uniforms.
Absolutely.
And we see how much they've helped.
Shoulder pads slaps Vegeta, moving on to number 14. Now, sure, shoulder pads are amazing, but shoulder pads cannot help you or protect you from the next hero on this list. And this hero is an overpowered king who has harnessed one of the strongest elements in the universe. I am of course talking about C-class hero Water Gun, who has an actual water gun as a weapon.
Now this is very cool because One Punch Man immediately knew from the very beginning that season 2 was going to be picked up by, well, a less of a up-to-par studio, and they were worried that 4Kids was just going to take over the whole thing. So then they introduced Water Gun, someone that even 4Kids couldn't mess with. Normally they switch guns for water guns, but what are they going to do? Switch Water Gun for a real gun? Hell no! Shut down, 4Kids. Water Gun is one of the greatest heroes of all time.
Nox, this is why I have you in this video, because of your incredible perspective, brilliant analysis, and just to, bring it back to the previous heroes, I mean, you can have as many shoulder pads or emojis as you want, but before you can even get close to Water Gun, he will swiftly take you out of commission with the power of a liquid known as water. He will squirt it all over your face, you will be powerless, you're done.
I mean, we'll be honest here, and take it for what it's worth. It might shake you, but whether you're wearing shoulder pads or glasses or a loincloth even, you can still drown.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. Now, moving on to number 13. A fashion icon and an idol to millions, the next hero on our list is the C-class hero, Rabbit, also known as Bunny Boy Senpai.
Really? She's actually known as Bunny Boy Senpai?
No, I mean, I made that up, but Rabbit, basically, his hero costume is a rabbit suit with a sick pair of shades. It's basically what you do when you want to be a furry, but also slick AF.
Bruh, I have no idea who you're talking about. I think you're thinking of the wrong character.
No. You can't mess with Rabbit, okay? Some believe that Rabbit uses such an eccentric hero costume because he's actually just an average guy, like he's withdrawn in his personal life, and he's just overcompensating. But these are just baseless rumors spread by people who do not understand the deep philosophy of Bunny Boy Senpai.
Well, as someone who never even heard of Bunny Boy Senpai, I definitely agree with you, purely due to, how the fact you're pretty much right every time with every opinion ever, except for Digimon not being a best isekai, Megumi not being best girl in Konosuba, No Game No Life being over it, generic stuff. But I'm with you on this one.
All right, fine. We'll just move on to number 12 on this list. And if you thought that Rabbit has a sweet hero costume, which I most definitely did, you haven't seen anything yet. What says, I want to look like a hero, but I also want to look like a furry who just came from an electronic music festival? Enter A-class hero Chain and Toad.
Bro, you have no idea how happy I am to talk about Chain and Toad right now. He's legit one of the most powerful characters in One Punch Man and deserves all the recognition he could get.
I mean, let's be honest, okay? If you're a villain and you come across a hero who is wearing a Toad helmet, a karate uniform, and is carrying a freaking sickle tied to a chain, you would just be like, GG, and you would get the hell out of there.
There's no coming back from that first impression.
No, absolutely.
It's actually terrifying.
That's why Chain and Toad is not only funny, but he's also deadly.
He's also a way of life.
Absolutely. Love you, Chain and Toad. Moving on to number 11. the grad school Grad. Our
Also
next hero-
known as the grad school Chad.
This next hero is the C-Class hero who goes by the epic hero name Grad School Graduate. And I mean, this hero is one of my favorite ones of all time, and he has one of the most unique abilities in the entire OPM universe. He is a man who actually managed to find a job after grad school.
This is crazy because, as we know from real life, grad school is suck.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as someone who finished grad school, I could say with confidence that studying political philosophy has qualified me for being a hero to millions. And I am grateful to the grad school Grad for representing for us unsung heroes who went through all that hassle of grad school only to realize that there are no jobs in our field and that we would have to do nothing other than fist fight in the streets for money.
I mean, a PhD in political philosophy definitely did qualify you to talk about, anime and stuff. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, but if not for grad school Grad, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Right. So as far as grad school Grad goes, a lot of people overlook the clearly deep philosophy of his character. First of all, he wears Kamina glasses, so he's already at least as deep of a character as Kamina, right, Anime?
I can't make humorous jokes about Kamina, so I'm gonna sit this one out.
I'm not joking. I mean, honestly, grad school Grad is someone I respect because grad school is big suck, but even so, he's still Grad. He still embodies who he is and what he's doing. He's not going to look both ways or, make abrupt decisions about it. He is going to plow forward. He is going to be that guy that leaves Plato's cave, forge into the new world, and, who the hell do you think he is? Just some random one-off filler hero? Hell nah. They will erect a statue in his providence, and he will guide the world to its salvation. Also, his kid brother probably sucks and is a loser.
I don't know if I should be laughing or be offended, but that's why you're here, Nux. That's why you're here. Grad School Grad, a great example for millions. And moving on now to number 10. At number 10, just cracking this top 10 list, is C-Class hero Funeral Suspenders. And this dude is basically an older, more jaded Harry Potter, complete with glasses, lightning-shaped scar on his forehead, and that British nerd vibe.
So, I don't know exactly what you're referring to when you say British nerd vibe when you're, talking about him, because you clearly haven't seen Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and met Bastion Misawa. But aside from that, I really respect Funeral Suspenders because he is wearing suspenders. I don't know, he's like keeping his suit in place, so in case he dies, they could bury him immediately. He doesn't want any of this, like, waiting around where his corpse can go on display and shiz. Hell nah. He wants to be ready to go 6 feet under the moment he's murdered. So he's gonna wear those suspenders to keep that suit in place. And I respect that because he's basically jinxing death. Like, if you say, I'm not gonna die today, chances are in anime, not looking too bright. But if this guy goes into every day saying, I'm gonna die, he can jinx death and survive. So I very much respect Funeral Suspenders, taking that Harry Potter vibe, plot holing his way through life. Mad respect.
You're right about that, but also his whole Funeral Suspenders gimmick can be a message to his enemies. Basically, you mess with Funeral Suspenders and you will be suspended into death.
Damn, that's deep.
Yeah. And moving on to number 9, we have an epic hero by the name of Peach Terry. He wears a headband with an image of a peach on it. And as you certainly know if you are familiar with Japanese culture at all, the Fearsome Peach is the single most terrifying and powerful symbol in Japanese mythology. It comes from the famous 4th century story about a peach farmer who was able to defeat 10 cyborg dragons by using a batch of green apples, which were still hard, peaches, which were still hard because they were green, and he just smashed them in the head, knocked them out cold. Absolutely fearsome Peach Terry.
So I again very much I appreciate that you mentioned the mythology about the cyborg dragons because it's known in every Japanese household and should be talked about more in the West. But I also respect him because he doesn't even realize that a peach is the Western symbol for a butt. But even so, he'll wear the peach fearlessly, forging forward into battle. Because just like, those cyborg dragons, his enemies are going to be toast.
Yeah, and the one thing that I really respect about Peach Terry is how compassionate he is, even for his enemies, because his primary weapon of choice is a katana. And that's because he knows that if he used peaches as weapons, it would be far too deadly. His enemies would rather, face cold steel than his fearsome peaches of justice, and that's why he uses a katana.
It's out of mercy, fam. Mercy.
Yeah. Moving on to number 8. The next hero is someone who proves that even a vegetarian can be strong if he is wearing a tank top, and we are talking, of course, about the heroic herbivore, tank top vegetarian.
He does wear a tank top, but that's where his epicness ends, fam.
Well, he is believed to be the second in command within the ruthless tank top army, and tank top vegetarian is a high-ranked A-class hero, and he has somehow managed to reach the weight of 269 pounds without consuming any meat in his diet. I mean, this hero is proof that vegan gains was right all along, and that the entire internet was wrong about him after all.
Well, one thing I have to say, to quote my boy Mista, best boy of JoJo's Part 5, he had this deep philosophical discussion with the rest of the gang on if humans would taste good. And he comes to the conclusion that since, for the most part, only herbivorous animals taste good, whereas carnivorous ones do not, humans would probably taste bad because they eat meat. But then he says, since Narancia doesn't eat a lot of meat, he probably tastes good. So by that deep philosophical logic, tank top vegetarian probably tastes sick, and Animac would eat his ass.
I mean, this took a really dark turn, Nux, but this would be a good time to mention that tank top vegetarian got whooped twice by Garo, so, he probably should eat a bit more beans and stuff.
Yeah, sure. I guess.
Moving on to number 7. The polar opposite of the tank top vegetarian, our next hero is the C-class hero, Meat Hammer. The only character who is even more popular with the ladies than Heavy Tank Loincloth, Meat Hammer appears to be a butcher by trade, and his bandana literally has the kanji for meat right on the front.
Now, Meat Hammer is underestimated in general because he beats his opponent with meat, being a metaphor for, you know what, Animac?
I don't know, Nux. Can you tell me?
Damn it, you were supposed to. Anyway, it's a metaphor for meat beating of the highest order, and I said it in that order instead of the other way, so you don't get demonetized. You're welcome. But even more than that, he clearly joined the Hero Association to get away from PETA, who has a bounty on his head.
No, I mean, the deep philosophy of Meat Hammer is honestly something that we need to delve into in a future video. But like I said, ladies love him. Meat Hammer, true G. At number 6, and we're getting up there now. At number 6, we have one of my favorite heroes of all time, the A-class hero known as the Great Philosopher. This hero has the appearance of a classical Greek philosopher, and he is known for actually trying to understand the motives of the villains that he faces. He asks them, why are you doing the things that you're doing? And he tries to understand them, but if they don't respond, he smashes them over the head with a big book.
Now, I respect this character, and I do appreciate the idea of trying to figure out the motivations and deep philosophies of the villains, but like philosophy in real life, it's completely useless because he has to beat up the villains anyway. Take it away, Animac.
I mean, the Great Philosopher is a huge inspiration to me personally. It shows that even someone who spent years studying philosophy can still become a great hero.
If you have a big enough book to smash enemies' faces with.
Yeah, all I have to do is smash people over the head with a big book. But other than that, I mean, what an inspiration.
Your future's been paved for you, fam. Grab it by the balls.
At number 5, speaking of philosophy, every true man of culture will appreciate A-class hero, Narcissus Stoic. This man's hero name is made up of 2 words, Narcissus and Stoic, which makes his hero name a hilarious oxymoron because the Stoic philosophical tradition teaches that we should overcome our egoic feelings and pursue higher virtues, while Narcissus is the embodiment of being self-absorbed and egotistical.
Now, I like him a lot, mostly because he's the inspiration for Naval Laser Guy from My Hero Academia, as well as the really annoying Flowery Guy from Black Clover.
I mean, as much as I love Naval Laser, I think Narcissus Stoic is the better character.
Well, I mean, Naval Laser is just a ripoff, and as we know about ripoffs, they generally do not, maintain the glory of the original.
That's a fair point. Narcissus Stoic for the win. Moving on to number 4, we have the one and only Watchdog Man, an absolute savage S-class hero.
So what I like most about Watchdog Man immediately is he don't play no games. You know exactly where the lad is coming from. He's like, you know what? I am going to protect this little statue, and that is all that I care about. If you attack my city or this statue, I will annihilate your face because I am basically the furry version of Saitama, okay? But if anything is happening anywhere else, he don't give a damn. So, you're probably wondering, why did he join the meeting of the S-Class heroes when Boros was invading? And that's simple. It's because Boros was going to destroy the planet, including his statue.
Absolutely. So, I'm glad you said that he's basically Saitama in a furry outfit because, yeah, he's like Saitama in a full-body dog suit. He is absolutely fierce. And hilariously enough, Watchdog Man absolutely crushes Garo in a fight. And he crushes, like, dozens of other monsters as well. And Garo cannot keep up with this guy's animalistic, savage fighting style. But the moment Garo steps out of Watchdog Man's territory, Watchdog Man just leaves him alone. He's like, cool. You learned your lesson? Cool.
Down, boy.
Absolute legend. And a good boy. The best boy. At number 3, we have perhaps the most beautiful character in the entire One Punch Man series. Even more beautiful than Fubuki. Sorry, Fubuki. Love you. And that is, of course, the fabulous S-Class hero, Pooty Prisoner.
I cannot express how much I love this Chad. Pooty Prisoner is everything I want in a man. And he's a beautiful man, that said and done. He fights out of love. He begins to love pain and love everything that his enemy gives him, becoming immune to pain. And because of this deep-seated love, he will take it to the next level and destroy everyone. His powers that he eventually enhances, he destroys people by hugging them, crushing them, no matter how many spikes they have that are going to impale him. And he also develops this very interesting vibration technique where he just vibrates his body really quickly and he can shatter anything by touching it. He is the living incarnation and the walking metaphor of a human dildo.
I mean, Pooty Prisoner is literally what happens when a cute magical girl anime has a baby with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
And somewhat paradoxically for a hero, Pooty Prisoner lives inside a prison, but whenever there is a major villain threat, he simply breaks out of the prison so he can go out to be a hero. When I read this in the manga for the first time, I absolutely lost my mind. It was hilarious.
It is so damn amazing. I can't get over how much I love Pooty Prisoner. The fact that he's fighting this enemy with like spikes and stuff and he can't get close to him because it'll, you know, poke him and make him bleed. And then you have people on a building nearby shouting advice like, dude, you have a massive ball and chain attached to your foot. Use it to hit them. And he just turns around and says, thank you for cheering me on, my honeys. I will fight harder because of your love. And then actually wins without using the ball and chain. True mad lad.
Moving on to number 2, at number 2, we have the B-class hero known by the name of Pico. Yes, you heard that right, Pico. Before becoming a hero, Pico used to be a pro gamer, and of course, when he was younger, he did some stuff that he's not too proud of. He had to pay his bills. What can you do?
This is very sad and something most of us can relate to, going to show us further the genius of One Punch Man. This guy was also before Fortnite, so he was a real gamer.
Yeah, I mean, this guy really went through some stuff, man. He's seen some things, but he still overcame. He overcame being an internet meme, and now he is a hero trying to just take it one step at a time.
Respect, brother.
Moving on to some honorable mentions before we get to number 1. First up, we have Studless, a Family Guy character who was apparently run over by a truck. Horsebone, literally BoJack Horseman. Pineapple, literally a guy who is dressed like a pineapple. Saitama, a hilarious hero that we all know and love, but we know him too well to put him on this list. We needed to put some lesser-known characters here. And of course, Moomin Rider. Psych, just kidding. There is nothing funny about Moomin Rider. He's a prince among men, and we all respect his courage and dedication. Nothing funny about it at all.
I think it's funny that he's only in C-class.
I mean, it's true. He is a prince among men, as I said. But all right, let's go to number 1. At number 1, we have the hero known as the strongest man on Earth, the S-Class, rank 7 hero, King. King is one of the most feared and respected heroes in the world, and his mere presence at a crime scene can intimidate a villain into surrendering rather than facing off against King. And despite his fearsome reputation, King is actually a coward who can't fight at all. However, due to the fact that Saitama often shows up where King happens to be and defeats powerful villains, and due to the fact that Saitama is virtually unknown as a hero, King keeps getting the credit for defeating these powerful monsters.
What's even better than that is the fact that in a recent chapter in the manga, this isn't a major spoiler or anything, but a villain attacked King. King stared at the villain so hard, it literally melted out of fear. And then King, like, you know, happily chuckles to himself, ha, who needs to punch villains when you could just scare him to death?
I mean, it's so true. Literally everything that King does is interpreted as reinforcing his incredible strength and his reputation. And even when he is scared and his heartbeat just races out of fear, which causes a rumbling, onlookers call it the King engine, a sign that King is about to go into full gear and destroy his enemies.
It even gets Atomic Samurai scared, and this bastard don't know how to fear.
Yeah, and the funniest thing to me is that despite his reputation, King has no interest in being a great hero. He is more interested in playing video games, including dating sims. He's an even better gamer than Pico. And other than the normal mosquito, King is the only other person who can really get under Saitama's skin by constantly beating him at video games.
Even with only 2 fingers.
We talked about Pooty Prisoner and his inspiration from JoJo's, but I think King is the real JoJo's character in One Punch Man, since Saitama is basically King's stand.
Can confirm, I was literally about to say that.
Yeah, Stand Master King, stand name, Saitama.
And that wraps up all the plot holes, like why didn't the heroes know it wasn't King? 'Cause it was!
And why is Saitama so strong? Because he's not just a normal human, he's a literal manifestation of paranormal power.
And why don't people know who he is? Because you can't see stands unless you're a stand user.
Oh, I mean...
Do you understand?
We figured it out. We just figured it out in a video that was supposed to be funny. We went so deep, so philosophical. It was crazy. Thank you so much, Taku, for joining me.
My pleasure. I gained at least 3,000 IQ this session, and I'm ready to go on top villains if this bad boy gets 5,000 likes.
Yeah, so if we get this to 5,000 likes, we are going to do a top 20 funniest villains in One Punch Man. I mean, we have some great candidates. I won't even spoil it for you, but if you enjoyed this video, so obviously leave it a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get all notifications, otherwise you will not be notified. YouTube doesn't care. Time for us to wrap this up. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Follow Taku. Check out his channel, link in the description. He is an excellent content creator and a philosophical, deep figure in his own right. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.
And stay weird, fam!